All right, fellas. I'm going to share my screen. Everybody can see this, correct?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, good. So, just a real quick, explanation. I'm just going to go over the basics of the offense today. I'm not going to go too crazy. Just to get you guys used to my terminology and how I speak, and simple things. Just so we know what we're expecting when we get on the field. So, first things first, I'm going to go over our offense. Our base offense is going to be based on the air raid system, but we're going to take inspirations from other coaches who have taken this and adapted it, almost called a power raid system. This is similar to teams like the Arizona Cardinals, the Oklahoma Sooners when Lincoln Riley was head coach, and the Kansas City Chiefs also pull from this kind of system. It forces a defense to cover every inch of the field, 40 yards downfield and 53 and a half yards from sideline to sideline. I expect to attack every blade of grass that's on that field, and I'm forcing a defense to try and be as fast as we are when it comes to us moving the ball downfield. We're going to be an up-tempo team, so we're going to dictate the pace of the game. We're going to go very fast. It's going to give defenses it's not going to give defenses time to adjust. I'm expecting defenses to gas out because they're never going to play as fast as we are. So up-tempo means that when we go to practice, we're going to practice fast. When we do our drills, we're going to do our drills fast. When we go to team period, we're going to do our team period fast. So our rate of speed is completely different than what other teams practice at. My goal is to try and hit, 80 to 90 offensive plays in a game. In college, I came from this system. We tied the NCAA record from Division I all the way down to JUCO and D3 for most offensive plays in a game, and that was 115, I believe. And you may sit here and be like, "Oh, I don't know." There's probably in total 115 plays to 120 plays in a game, and that's including defense and special teams. So we want to be able to go out there and go as fast as possible, get as many plays in as possible. We play fast, we score fast. That's the philosophy. We want to keep the defense on their heels. Offense is going to be primarily communicated with hand signals, or we're going to have signs. I know some of you guys watch college football. When you watch college football, you'll see a lot of teams will have built almost like poster boards on the sidelines with pictures and stuff. That usually means something. It's not just there to be a distraction or whatever. We're going to use that. Same thing with hand signals. A lot of you guys who have played for me with the Hawks or have played for me before know that I like to communicate with hand signals, and it's going to be just like that. A play call, how it's going to be signaled in is going to be formation first. If there is a motion or a tag, it'll follow that. And then it's going to be the play and whatever direction the play is going. So if we want to call it inside zone or outside zone, it's going to be Izzy and Ozzy. We'll say Izzy left or Ozzy left, depending on what the hand signal shows. Any questions on what we do, the basis of our offense?
No.
Okay. So I'll be moving on. I'm going to break down each position for you and how we label it. So obviously QB is the quarterback. What I expect from my quarterbacks is you need to be the leader of the offense. As the offensive coordinator, you are my eyes, my ears, my mouth to the offense as we are on the field. You must know what I know. So you must know what the plays are. You must know what the formations are. You must know what everybody is doing at one time. It's going to be a very stressful job to be quarterback because I expect you to understand the basis of the offense. And we will have QB specific meetings if you want to play quarterback. Another thing is, especially because we are going to be a pass heavy team compared to most, you should be able to tell me what reads we are for every play off the top of your head. So at practice, for example, Ben, if I ask you what our progression is for stick, you should be able to say it right off the top of your head without even thinking. And lastly, if you're going to play quarterback for me, I expect ice in the veins. If you come out and throw 3 picks, I expect you to go out there and keep slinging it like you haven't thrown any. You shouldn't be affected. Mistakes are going to happen. You may see something that I don't see. The only time I'll get upset at you is when you come off and you look rattled and you're like scared to throw the ball again. We want to take shots. We want to throw the ball downfield. That's going to happen. So I expect you to be able to go out there and make those throws. All right, next position up, we got R, which is our running back. So our running back, that's going to be the guy that's always in the backfield. He's going to be the primary, bell cow when it comes to running the ball. The H is also kind of in there when it comes to running the ball, but R is going to be the primary runner. I expect you to, when you're playing R, you're going to be physical and you got to be a smart player. A lot of our reads, especially when we're running the ball, you have to remember what our rules are for every run play. You also got to remember certain screen plays and stuff. So you got to be able to run through contact while also remembering what you're doing for a handful of plays. And another reason why you have to be smart is because the R does not have a set position in most formations, especially our opened, our closed, our ace, and then our trips formations early and late. You do not have a set formation. You will flip sides depending on what the play is. So we may call open, we may call Izzy right. That means you line up on the left side. Whereas we call open and we call Izzy left, you line up on the right side. So it's a different look for the defense, but for us, it's the same exact stuff. All you have to remember is what side you line up on. The only ones that you have to worry about having a set side is our color formation. So if it's not a color, you do not have a set position. So we'll see it when we line up in our green and our blue calls. You are always to the side of the tight end. And then in black and purple, you will always line up directly behind the quarterback like it is a pistol formation. We will show you as we go. And up next, we got offensive line. So I'm going to address the offensive line as a group. Biggest thing is we need to have that big, sexy attitude. I'm a former offensive lineman. I know that it is very important to be up front. We need to block angry. We need to make a statement to most defensive lines because a lot of the time, the game is going to be won in the trenches. If we can set a standard, we will win 99% of our games. And realistically, if the offensive line don't work, the offense ain't going to work. So it all starts up front. They're the tip of the spear. They are one of the most important pieces of our offense. So play it with pride. Up next, for the next positional group, we have H. So if you play H, you're going to be a mix of a wide receiver and a running back. You do a little bit. You're very good at playing wide receiver. You're also very good at running the ball. So you're kind of that Swiss Army knife kind of player. We expect you to be very athletic. We expect you to go out there and make defenses pay for making mistakes, especially if they don't cover you. We expect you to have that kind of separation speed to go and make a defense pay. You also have to be very familiar with the run plays as well as the pass plays because there are going to be times you line up in the backfield and receive handoffs. There are going to be times you line up out wide as a wide receiver and you're going to catch the ball. So you got to know what you're doing for every play. Up next, we got Y. So if you play Y, you're going to be kind of a big slot wide receiver, tight end hybrid. You're going to be the best blocker out of all my wide receivers because there are going to be times where you're going to line up at tight end. You're going to be right next to the tackle in a 3-point stance. You got to block defensive ends. And there are going to be times where you're going to be split out wide in the slot and you got to block linebackers and safeties. So you got to be able to get out there and block everybody and not have an issue. You're going to be primarily a possession catch guy. I'm expecting you to have sure hands. You're going to go out there, you're going to catch, and I'm going to expect you to use your big physical body to get tough yards. Catch a 4-yard stick, turn it into 7 because you turn around and lower your shoulder into a safety's face and you drive him down the field. That's what I expect when you play Y. And then up next, X and Z are going to be kind of the same. They're the almost like same position, so I'm going to address them the same. You're the true blue wide receiver. You're going to be the main guy out wide. You're, fast, got good hands, smart, and you may not get a lot of catches because you are out wide. And most of the time, you're going to face the best cover guys. But every catch that you get, it's going to be a big play. Most of the time, if the defense falls asleep because we're hitting underneath routes and we're getting the ball out quick and we're doing stuff like that, a lot of those outside corners tend to fall asleep. So we need to be able to take advantage of that. So the next, when we run one of our plays and we see that the corner isn't even looking at the wide receiver, you got to let us know that, because there may be times you're on the opposite side of the field and I can't see you. So you got to be able to come to me the next series or when you get subbed out and tell me, hey, coach, that corner's sleeping on me. And then we're going to call a play to take that shot. And I expect you to make that catch. So X and Z receivers, you're the most, you're primarily my guy. You're my big play guys. Any questions on positions? I know I'm kind of throwing a lot at you. So just off the top of my head, we don't have set positions at the moment, but there are projected positions that I do like some of you guys to try out at first. I think there's places where we can put you that you will help the team. So we'll try you out there first, and then we'll work you in other positions if need be. But right now, this is where I think you guys will be. I'll show you guys that later. So now we're going to be up and up to our formations. So what this is that this is going to show us our formations, and the picture next to it is kind of how I want us to think of our hand signals. Obviously, I don't have a camera, so do your best to imagine how I explain it. So our base formation, probably the formation we will be in the most, is called open. As you can see, this is what the formation looks like. Y and Z to the right, H and X to the left. R is in the backfield. I put him on the right side for now, but he can flip either way. And in the hand signal for that is going to look like I'm opening a book. So that's what the picture is there for. When you think opening a book. I'm going to start with my hands closed together, and I'm going to open them up. So think of it like that. Any questions on open? All right. Up next, we got closed. So what closed does now is we're going to be in a more power formation. I put him directly behind the quarterback, but most of the time he's either going to be to the left or to the right. H and Y are in wings. Off the ball, X and Z are now on the ball out wide. This is going to be primarily when we want to cause mismatches with motion. We may motion the H over to the Y side, and we now have kind of a dual wing to one side kind of thing where we're going to have a flood concept. This is, we're going to be moving you guys a lot. It's going to cause a lot of mismatches when we go in tight like this. And it also helps us run the ball. Up next, we got ace. Oh, forgot about the hand signal. So the hand signal thing, I'm closing a big curtain, closing some sliding doors. My hands are going to start out wide, and I'm going to bring them in close together like I'm clapping. So think closed, I'm closing the blinds. Now up next, we got ace. So ace now brings that Y receiver in tight. This is going to be a tight formation. We will run this a good amount too. Z is off the line to the right. H is off the line to the left. X is on the line to the left. And again, R will flip-flop depending on what the play is. This will primarily cause mismatches. We'll bring a linebacker into the box, allow us to get that angle to any outside breaking routes. For the hand signal, I put the ace up the sleeve. I'm going to put my hand at my wrist, and I'm going to make a pulling motion. Think ace up the sleeve for ace. Now up next, we got our first trips formation. We have early. So I'm not going to say trips left to trips right. That's too much to kind of hand signal in. So I give trips their own name. So trips right is early. Think R in early, right. How it's going to go. Y is always on the line. So if Y is to your side, you will be off the line. So remember that rule. Z, H, we're going to bump him over to trips. Early, X is ISO all the way by himself on the left. For early, think when you're tired, you rub your eyes when you first wake up in the morning. That's going to be the hand signal. That's how we're going to signal it in. And then when we go trips left, it's going to be late. Same thing. The only thing that doesn't change is Z stays to the right, X stays to the left. X and H are off the line, Y is on the line. Trips left. Think late. When you're tired and it's late outside, you yawn. I'm going to make the yawning motion. I'm going to put my hand over my mouth like I'm yawning. So early and late trips formations. Up next, now we got the colors. So what I was talking about with the R. So when we go to our colored formations like blue and green, blue is two receivers to the left. We are in split back formation. So now the H goes from being out wide to now in the backfield. He is always away from the two receiver side. So now blue and green, he is always away from the two receiver side. R is always to the two receiver side. So that makes it a little easier. Blue, obviously, now Y is to the left. X is off the line. Pretty simple. The hand signal is I'm going to be pointing to the sky. Think sky is blue. I'm letting you know that's where I'm pointing. Now our other split back formation is green. Same thing. Y is now on the right. R is to the right. H is to the left, away from the two receiver side. The hand signal is I'm going to look like I'm throwing money. I'm making it rain. So think green for money. That's going to be the hand signal for green. And then we have two formations that we may not run a lot. This is primarily if we want to run the ball, short yardage, goal line, stuff like that. We're trying to eat up clock and we're really trying to pound the ball down people's throats. We'll go to black and purple. So black, L and black left. Y is now in at tight end. And we move the H to the backfield. It almost looks like our I formation out of shotgun. This time the R has a set position. He is always behind the quarterback no matter what. And so the hand signal is I don't have black hair, but when I think black hair, I'm going to point to my hair and I'm going to grab some of it and I'm going to pull it. So like the guy is doing in the picture, imagine black hair. And the next thing is purple. So take the same formation, flip it. Y and H are always to the same side. I formation, strong power right. And when you think purple, think of a bruise. I'm going to cover my eye like I just got punched in the eye. It's bruised up. So think of kind of like a black eye. All right. So any questions on our formations? Do they all make sense? Do any hand signals not make sense? Everybody got it? If you need me to go back so you can draw the formation, or if you want to take a note, let me know. I'll do it right now.
Coach.
Yeah.
Are all these pass block or some of them just normal blocking?
So these are formations. This is just how we line up. I haven't gone over plays yet. So when I go over the plays, then you'll know which one's pass and which one's run. Okay. So formation is just how we're going to line up to show the defense what we're going to do. And then the play call is going to be different. I don't really have hands. I have hand signals for play call for like the plays, but I just don't have them like a picture to show you what they look like. That will go over in practice. But I'm talking about for now, all the formations, everybody has it. Everybody understands them. We're all good. All right. So just real quick.
Real quick. Maybe you should just breeze through them. You know, some guys might be a little shy, being everybody's kind of just getting used to each other. Just kind of go through it and make sure everybody understands. So, guys, what you should be doing is kind of seeing where you envision yourself and understanding that job. If you have any questions, obviously we're going to learn along the way, but this way everybody kind of knows what they're supposed to be looking at once you get into plays.
Open, spread formation, opening a book is the hand signal. So hands together like I'm praying, boom, splitting them apart like I'm opening a book. Closed, think tight formation, it's closed up. We're taking those two spread guys now, we're bringing them in, we're closing the formation, and I'm going to be closing blinds for my hand signal. So hands out wide, like I'm grabbing two handles and I'm bringing them together in the middle. Ace. So now we're just flipping it. It's open, but now the Y is in tight. Ace in the sleeve kind of thing. Sleeves are tight. Ace is in the sleeve. It's tight up. It's tight end. Tighten up. Hand signal is I'm going to have my hand at my wrist and I'm going to make a pulling motion away like I'm pulling out a card. Early, R for right, trips. H and Y are always together in the trips. Z and X always stay to their sides. Y is always on the line. So if you're playing Y, always remember that you're staying to your side, that you're staying on the line of scrimmage unless it's closed. Early, I'm rubbing my eye because I just woke up. Think of it like that. Late, trips left. L for late. L for left. Same thing. Y is on the line, which means X and H are off. Hand signal is I'm going to be like I'm yawning. So late, I stayed up late. I'm starting to yawn. I'm tired. Blue, split backs. Y always goes to the color side. So L for blue, left. R is always going to the two receiver side. H is always to the one receiver side. We are directly next to the quarterback. Hand signal, I'm pointing to the sky. The sky is blue. Green, flip it. R, right, green. Remember, R is always to the two receiver side. H is always away, always to the one receiver. I'm going to look like I'm making it rain. Then green for money. Black, heavy formation. Y is in tight. H is in right next to the quarterback as a fullback. R is directly behind. We want to punt. We want to run it down your throats. Think black and purple like bruised. L for left, black. I'm going to be pointing at my hair. Think black hair. And then purple. Flip the formation. Power right. Y and H together to the right side of the field. Think purple. I just got punched in the eye. I'm covering it up. It's going to be black and purple, bruised up. Pretty simple. We all good with the formations, even after I did a quick recap. All right. So just as a projected roster look, just a real quick, names are going to change. People are going to be flipped around. This doesn't mean who's starting and who's not. This is just a list of people that I see playing their positions. So quarterback, I have Ben, Drew Nelson. At R, I have Rivera, Jeremy, and Richie. Lincoln can also play R, but I also have him kind of playing H. H, I primarily have Jadison, Amarion, and Rollins. X and Z, I have Austelino, Steven, Asher, Castano, Manny, Janari, and Jalen. At Y, I have Jacob, Shane, and Hunter. Tim is also listed here, but he can also play H as well. And then obviously the O linemen are the O linemen. These are the guys that I see primarily playing these positions. This hasn't been updated in a while. I literally did this as soon as we made the cuts, so I know we have some new guys. I need to add you guys to the list. This is not a depth chart. This is not who's starting and who's not. This is just a look at where I would think you would fit best in our system. All right. Up next, we got our offensive plays. We are going to go over our run plays, and we are going to go over our quick game passing plays. So our passing plays are broken up into 3 sections. We have our screen passes, we have our quick game plays, and we have our drop back plays. What that means is obviously we all know what a screen is. Quick game means I want to throw a quick 1-step drop for the quarterbacks. We're getting it out fast. Drop back is a 3-step drop for the quarterbacks. The whole formation is, every receiver is involved, and and their routes are going to be a little quicker to develop. So I'll go over our runs first, and I'll go over our quick game. So our first run is our inside zone. This is going to be primarily our bread and butter. We call it Izzy. Just to let it know, Izzy left. Our running back is going to line up on the opposite side of the call. So if it's anything going left, we will line up on the right side. If it's anything to the right, we will line up on the left side. Simple. Ours, anybody who wants to play running back, we are always opposite the call. Offensive line, this is a 45-degree step to the side that we call. So if it's Izzy left, we are taking a 45-degree step to the left. We are reading our calls, so it's head up, play side gap, backer. The only thing that we're worrying about is that if there's a guy in the A gap, we want our center and our guard to double team that and then go to backer. Our reading for this play is we are going straight down the center's ass. So we're looking right at the center's butt cheeks. As soon as I see him turn, that's when I make my cut. So for this play in general, he is running down the center's ass. And as soon as he sees that he's going this way, he wants to cut to the left. If it's one of these things where the D tackle is flipped, he will then cut to the right. It gives you a 2-way go depending on where the center turns. Your job is to make the center right, no matter wherever he goes. We'll work on this more in practice, but for now, this is just a simple look. Obviously, we flip the play. Is he right? We're stepping to the play side offensive lineman. We're getting double teams to backers. We are running down the center's ass, making our cuts wherever we see fit. Wide
Coach.
receivers,
Out of Izzy, are we going to be running RPO or no?
no. For now,
Okay.
we are just pulling. At this moment, when we run Izzy, we are riding it, and then we're pulling up with empty hands, flashing a throw like we're throwing out here to the backside. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And that's going to be kind of with every play. We're just flashing empty hands, giving the defense some eye candy for them to kind of be like, oh shit, is he throwing it? All right. That's kind of what this little angle means. Like I'm pulling it back and I'm throwing an empty hand. Next play is Aussie. So it's outside zone. We want to get outside. O for outside. Offensive line, we are taking a reach step. We are running almost straight down the line of scrimmage. We are getting the outside shoulder of this defender to our play side gap, and we are turning our bodies in front of them, creating a wall to seal it off for our guy to get outside. Running backs, we will now, instead of lining up a little bit behind the quarterback, we will be right next to him, running straight down the line of scrimmage. We want to be parallel. What that means is The line of scrimmage is going left to right. We want to go left to right, read what the defense is giving us, and we take our angles. 2 reads that you will see is we call it a bounce read and a bang read. So I'll explain that right now. This, what I have drawn right here, is a bounce read. Think I'm bouncing it to the outside. We have our defensive line and our linebacker sealed. We can get outside. We want to take it to the sidelines. We want to score. The next one is called a bang read. That means our offensive line cannot reach them. They are getting outside of us, this defensive end, and these linebackers are really running to get to the sideline. Our offensive line is going to drive them to the sidelines and really push them out. Our job is now, instead of taking it to the outside, we are going to bang that foot in the ground, and we are going straight up the field now. So think of it, physical bang. I'm going to be banging into dudes. We're going to be, lowering my shoulder, and I'm getting upfield to get some yards. So 2 reads, bounce it outside, bang, I'm banging that foot, and I'm getting upfield now. Do not make a bang read as soon as you get the ball. That never works. Give the defense time to flow. If they flow and we can't get reach, you bang it. So you want to take, after you get the ball, you want to take 3 to 4 steps to give the defense time to, make their reads, and then we adjust from there. Understand that, R's and H, because we will run this with the H2 running backs. And then wide receivers, we stalk block. Same thing for the other side, doesn't change. We do the same thing. Now we have 2 downhill powerful runs. We have power left and count. We have power and counter. So right now, looking at power, this is a little different from our zone stuff. This is going to be, we're looking to block these guys aggressively. Power left. The left tackle would be taking this DN, driving him out, being physical, getting in his shit, driving him downfield. Same thing with this left guard. We are making sure that he does not go over the top of us. We're forcing him down to the right side, and we're really going to drive him downhill. Center is always down blocking away from the play no matter what. So power left, he is always going right. And power right, he is always going left. We are down blocking this dude, driving him to the right. Right tackle, we can double team this if he is really close in your gap. If not, we're taking this DN. We're doubling up the linebacker. This guard is pulling up and through this hole between the left guard and the left tackle, going up for linebacker. It's almost run the same way as inside zone, the handoff, but we're getting it. We're lowering our shoulder. We're running physical through this hole. As soon as we see a little bit of grass, we're taking it and we're going. Where our job is to primarily read this guard's ass. As soon as we see him make a turn, so if he cuts him off and we're able to get outside, go outside. If this linebacker overcommits and tries to run to the outside, he's going to drive him there. We cut it back. Running backs, we understand this. Offensive line, does it make sense? We're going to run this in practice. Obviously, we're going to get reps. Same thing going to the other side. Quarterbacks always know we're pulling up with empty hands, flashing like we're throwing to the outside. Power right. Always know that if we call power or counter to the right side, the left side is the one that's pulling. If we call it to the left side, the right side is pulling. So it's always backside. And now this is my baby. This is my favorite play. If we're going to run the ball, it's counter. So we may change this up. This may be a play where we put the R to the same side, but for now we have him on the backside. It makes it easier for us to block. Center, left guard, left tackle for counter left. We're all down blocking. This is a bulldozer of death. We are killing every defender in our way, and we are driving them into the ground, going to the left, going to the right. Our right guard is going to pull and catch this defensive end who thinks that he has a free tackle in the backfield. We're going to hit him, put our helmet right in his ear, and we are killing him. Our right tackle is coming up and through for this linebacker who's just going to be standing here. Our running back is going to jump on our tackle's back and ride him into the end zone. Does everybody understand? Counter, if you run it correctly, can be one of the best plays in football. This is one of my favorite plays. It really shows how you can be physical and finesse at the same time. It is straight domination up front, peeling off to backer. This is one of my favorite plays in all of football. So, counter. And then we go back, counter right, same exact thing. Now the left side is doing it. Quick hitter to get it out. Any questions on our run games? Izzy. I'll show Izzy again. I'll show Ozzy again. I'll show power again. And I'll show counter again. Any questions on our plays just for now? Obviously, I'm not expecting you to go out there and run it perfectly the first time. We're going to practice it, but just to give you an idea, so when I call it, we know what we're doing. Any questions on our run plays? These are the 4 base run plays. These are probably the 4 run plays that we are going to run the most. I don't foresee anything else really being added unless it's like a little tricky catch a team sleeping kind of thing. These are going to be our favorite run plays. These are going to be the best run plays. All right. Now, here's our quick game passes. Make sure we write this down. Wide receivers and quarterbacks. This is the most important thing to know for our quick game. This is going to be imperative. This is what's going to separate our quick game from our dropbacks. Quarterbacks and wide receivers, we will have a pre-snap read for every quick game pass. So what that means is when we call a quick game pass, so for example, this is open Y stick. Y stick is telling the offense that anybody to the Y side is running the stick concept. Which means that if you are on the backside, you are running one of 2 routes, depending on what the defense shows you. If the defense is, if the defensive player who is covering you is closer than 5 yards, or 6 yards, I'm sorry, if the defensive player is closer than 6 yards to you, you are running outside release and you're running a fade automatically, no matter what. Even if he is slow, we are running, boom, within 6 yards, we are running a fade. If he is past 6 yards, so this is the 6-yard mark. Oh, shit. So this is the 6-yard mark. If he is past the 6 yards, which means he's at 8 yards, sometimes 10 yards, we are running a 4-step stick, which means we are, boom, 4 steps, putting our foot in the ground, flashing our hands. Quarterback, just know, if we see a pre-snap read where the 4-step stick is open, we are throwing that right now. There is no hesitation. We're not looking at the concept side. This, if he is past 4 yards, we are throwing this now. We are not even looking at this. This is what I like to call easy money. It's the easiest thing in the world. It's a catch and throw. Don't even look at the Y side. We're throwing it to the X. Boom, done, over. Quickest read of my life. Throwing it now. This way, what this does is it's an easy 3 to 4 yards every single time. If the DB comes down and makes a tackle, we throw it on 1st and 10. Boom, now it's 2nd and 6. our life is a lot easier. We didn't even have to think. But with our talent, there is a high chance that this DB, as soon as this wide receiver catches it, this DB comes down to make a tackle. Boom, our X makes a miss. Now, what could be a 3-4 yard play can now be 15, 20 plus touchdown play. Understand? So quick game play, quick game passes, pre-snap read all the time. Now, this DB is down here. They're both below the 6 yard. They're both closer than 6 yards, which means both guys are running fades. We're not looking at this point. Now, we're not throwing in. There is no easy money. We're not throwing anything. We're automatically looking to our concept side now. So before the ball is even snapped, we determine we are not throwing it here. We are looking at our concept side. First thing we're looking at is we're always looking at our outside release fade. We're looking at our outside release fade. First thing we do. As soon as we see, boom, we peek it. If he's covered, we're going right to the Y. So if he does not beat this DB right off the line, say this DB is here. So we got a corner right here. If this Z does not beat him right off the line, we're not throwing it. Understand? We are now looking at the Y. The Y is running a stick. Rule for Y. When we run a stick, we are always running it to the closest guy. So it's either he is covering us or he may be over here. But either way, we are running to his inside number. That's why I put 55 out here. I'm running right to his inside number. I'm sticking my foot in the ground. I'm flashing my hands for the quarterback like he's going to like I'm taking a picture. Boom, my hands are coming right up now. Quarterback, if 55 or whoever is covering him stays with the Y, we're throwing the R, running the shoot. Not even thinking about it. First thing he does, if he stays here, boom, I'm looking at him. He stays here, throwing the R now. Don't even think about it. Just throw it. If we see anything, if we see anything other than him running down to cover the R, we are throwing the R 90% of the time. Now, if 55 or whoever this coverage guy is, boom, ball snaps, he runs down to cover the R, now we throw the stick. Understand? What we're doing is we're creating a rub route. We want our Y to bump into this guy and have our R be open on the shoot. It's an easy throw, easy catch. Boom, now he's upfield. DB is running with him. He's now stuck up on the Y, and we have a pretty open lane of grass for us to work with. Understand? So this is stick. Obviously, we could flip it to the other way if we call H stick. Oops. If we call H stick, we flip it to the other side now. R is now on the left. We run it to the other side. I thought I had it drawn up. I guess I don't. Now, what changes is if we run it out of trips. So right now, this is stick. This is late Y stick. The only thing that changes is now the R isn't running the shoot. The H is running the shoot. Any questions? All right, Ben, are you still on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Looking at this play with how the defense is set up, what's the first thing? What are we throwing in
Z.
this setup? Yep, we're throwing the Z because it's the pre-snap read. He's past 6 yards. Good job. Now let's say this DB is close. 33 gets tangled up with Y. DB is running with X. What do we throw?
The H.
Yeah. Now we run it again. Boom. Now 33 just flies out here like this. As soon as the ball snapped, he doesn't even let the Y run to him. He just flies out there. What are we throwing?
The Y.
All right. Pretty simple. We should be able to make these throws pretty effectively. All right. Next quick game play we call corner. So we'll do H corner. Boom. Pre-snap read is the same. Y and Z. In this one, in this alignment, Y would be running a fade. Z would be running the hitch. All right. So, corner. Pretty easy concept. Now it's a switch combo, which means that our H and our X are now switching sides of the field. They're going to be crossing each other over. H is running a 6 to 8 step corner, running for the sideline for the highest number. That's our aiming point. We want to throw it at the number. Up next, we have our snag route. X is almost going to be running like a slant. My aiming point is to run over the heel of whoever is covering the H. I want to run behind them, and what I want to do is sit right in this empty grass, right behind whoever is covering the H. Or if there's an outside linebacker who's not even covering him, he's like over here. Our job is to run, and we want to sit right behind him. This way, his eyes aren't looking at us. We can find an open field of grass, and we flash our hands. Boom, we're ready to catch the ball. And then same thing, concept doesn't change. R is running the shoot out of open. This is probably one of the easier reads. It's almost similar. It's a first. It's high to low. We're kind of climbing the ladder of our reads. We're starting at the top, working our way down. In this one, the snag is going to be open most of the time because whoever is covering the H is going to follow him on the corner, leaving this whole field, this whole area right here wide open for our snag route. Everybody understand the concept? And now if for whatever reason, 55 or whoever is covering stays right here and doesn't move, and this DB covers the corner, we have our check down to the R. Simple? All right. And then, flip the sides, pre-snap read to the left. Y is running the corner. Z is running the snag. R is running the shoot. And then we have it out of trips. Same exact thing. Now instead of the R running the shoot, it's the H. Settle behind. So think of it stick. I'm sticking in my foot right in front of him. I'm getting behind. I'm getting in front of him. I'm causing a traffic jam. For corner, I'm running a snag. I want to snag behind his heels. This is where I'm coming. I'm settling right in this empty area. Any question on corner? Corner's a pretty simple read. All right. Now the next quick game, I call it Florida. It's fade out. So Florida, F-O, fade out. That's the easiest way to remember it. Now, this progression is a little bit more aggressive. We don't want to just throw the check down. We want to take shots downfield. If this cornerback is right up here and he's really settling in and wants to play man coverage with these receivers, we have very, very good wide receivers. We're taking this shot on this outside release fade every time if he's closer than 5 yards. We want to throw this. We want our guys to beat him downfield. This is the big play we want to take. Our next one, which is probably going to be open most of the time, is our fade out. So now, boom, we're running speed out. We want to get about 5 yards depth, really turn that corner fast, look over our shoulder. We should be hitting it as we're turning the corner. This one's going to be open all the time, considering that 99% of the time, this DB is going to see X running upfield. He's going to turn and run with him. So that fade out, boom, easy throw, easy money, get it out. We're hitting this right in the flats and we're turning upfield and we're going. And then the last one, this is an option route. We're giving it to our R or our H, whoever's running it. It's pretty simple. We're running upfield. We're settling in. We want to get in front of this linebacker, whoever's covering the H. This is the progression for our option route. If there is nobody here, say 55 runs with the fade out, we are settling right in this open grass. Boom. Soon as I see nobody there, I'm turning, I'm putting my hands up, ready to catch this ball. Easy pitch and throw, turn upfield, gain yards. Pretty simple. If for some reason we come off of our break and we're turning upfield and we see a guy still standing here, if he is to the outside of me, I'm breaking in, I'm running across the formation, I'm getting to the middle of the field. If he, for some reason, he's not here, he is lined up to the inside of me and he's just kind of chilling, I'm breaking to the outside of the field. We have 2 outs going and we're going to hit it right here if this is open. Unless, say, this guy plays here, we have a safety playing over the top, and this linebacker is just kind of dragging ass sitting in the middle of the field because for some reason he thinks we're running, even though our running back is running out for a pass. We're breaking to the outfield. I'm hitting him right here, and he's going to turn upfield and run. So it's pretty simple. Wherever he is, don't go to where he is, running backs. Make him wrong. Pretty easy. Any questions on the option routes for the R's? So this is H Florida. Then we have Y Florida. We flip the formation, boom, R. Now we're doing our thing. And then out of trips, the only one who's running it now, R is in the backfield to block. H is running the option route. Similar thing. Run upfield. He's gone. Settle in the area. Catch it. Turn upfield. If for some reason he's covering you, if he's inside of you, break out. If he's outside of you, break in. Pretty common sense stuff. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. All right. Any questions on any of our quick games? Receivers have no questions. Everybody gets it. Any questions on our runs, offensive line? All right, fellas. I mean, it's not hard. It's pretty simple stuff. You know, for the most part, we're we're going down the ladder. You know, we have a high and you know, a deep concept threat, a midfield concept threat, and then a flat concept threat. So, you know, for the most part, they all kind of look the same. So stick, we have the deep, middle, short. Corner, we have the deep, middle, short. Florida, you know, deep, middle, short for the most part. It's pretty, you know, short distance to throw. You know, for the most part, it's just different looks. We're doing the same stuff. We're attacking the same areas. We want the defense to think and we want them to slow down and really have to respect our guys. Same thing with the pre-snap reads. It's always automatic. Remember that. You know, wide receivers, I expect you know, you need to know this as well. So if you see that this guy is 6 yards deeper, you know, past 6 yards trying to cover you, you know, you want to catch this ball. You want to make it easy money. You're going to run 4 steps, turn around, boom, the ball is right in your hands and you're making a play. You're being athletic. So we're going to work the pre-snap reads a lot. This is probably going to be a lot of the times when we call our quick game. It's going to be these because I think DBs are going to be scared to play press on us or really get in within 5. because they don't want to get burned over the top from how fast we are. If they play off and we just dink and dunk them the whole game, that's fine with me too. So, make sure we're studying, make sure we remember our formations, quick game, run game. Next week when we have our offensive Zoom, we will go over our drop back plays and our screens, since those are a little bit more in depth. But for the most part, most of our offensive scheming is going to be running the ball and getting the ball out quick. So this is really, really important. This is the basis of our offense. If we cannot run this, then we cannot run our offense. Understand? All right, fellas. If there's no questions, you're free to go. If you want to stay, if you're shy and you want to stay and ask me a question after everybody leaves, you can. But, we're all set. You guys are all set to go, fellas.
Coach.
Yeah.
Will you be my Valentine?
Unfortunately, I have one.